Okay, it says we're recording, so.
Okay. Well,
and I'm not stopping it. I was looking for another button, but it's not, it's not real apparent. So anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and get going.
okay. Well, first I want to say thank you for joining us. I am Karen Jackson, an independent living specialist with CIL Disability Resource Center, and we've been in Pensacola since 1980. But without further ado, what I'd like to do is go ahead and introduce from Central Credit Union, Florida, Barbara MacNeil. She's a community liaison. She's here to present. She's here to present the Build a Basic Budget seminar. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you so much, Karen. And now I'm just speechless. So yeah, we've partnered with you guys for a couple of years now. And so it's exciting to be able to do this in a different form. So as Karen said, I'm a community liaison with Central Credit Union, and we're a local credit union to Pensacola Community Credit Union, open to membership from as long as you live, work, or go to school in Escambia, Santa Rosa, Okaloosa. We go all the way to Panama City and even over to the Jacksonville area, Duval. Pardon me, and we have 4 branches in Pensacola and 1 in Panama City. But this is what we love to do. We're a community credit union. We take our community seriously, and giving back, such as we're doing today, is just awesome. So we love our friends at CIL. All right, anything else before we get going? Okay, just some housekeeping. We do have a chat bar, and I believe everyone on the call today has been on a Zoom meeting. So is that right, Karen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, I'll depend on you. So you can use chat, but also, please, this is participation. This is not just me, talking for an hour. Let's have some good dialogue, and I'll ask questions as we go. If you know how to, you can, on the reactions, you can raise your hand or you can clap. Clapping is welcome. So, all right, and bear with me as we go through this technology. So, yes, so building a basic budget. So I want to show you, if we were in person, you would be able to touch this and feel it. But this is, and you can see it's not even as big as my hand, but this is just a little jelly jar that has coins in it. And you probably have had a piggy bank or a jar or something. So no, it's kind of hard, but take a guess how much money is in this jar. And you can shout out, or you can chat if you like to. But let's hear from a couple of. Oh, we have, that would be a good idea. Quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies.
I'd say about $25.
Okay. I have 25. Do I have?
I'm going to say 42.
I have 33. Wow. I wish it were. I have 33, 42, 25. I think if we'd had more quarters in there, but it's hard to tell. But the point is that, so this is $12.50, and this is just a tiny jar. So the point of all that is a little bit adds up. So thanks for participating already, you guys. All right, so here are our objectives. What we want to do is, talk about setting up a spending plan, identifying spending leaks, how to, what can we do to understand where is that money going if we don't have enough money at the end of the month. Track your spending. Saving money is important, of course. Financial goals, auditing the progress, and revising the goals, because any plan is subject to change, right? And then we'll talk about some financial tools that you can use. So when you think about having a plan, the advantage of that plan, if there's a crisis, whether it's a financial crisis or something else that could set back it's good to have that plan. And that's something that we've been involved with right now with COVID-19, right? We've all had to adjust. Has that impacted you financially? Have you had to make some adjustments because of COVID-19? So I see some people shaking their heads. So it's, so yeah, and in some cases, we're spending less money. I know a lot of folks have said, well, I'm saving money because I'm not spending as much money on gas or what have you. Or sadly, sometimes income has decreased because of job loss or reduced hours, things like that. So having a plan, having savings, it kind of goes without saying right now, but that's why we're here. That's what we're talking about right now. All right, so benefits of managing the money is, think about, and I know I'm just talking about the COVID-19, but think about some more difficult times in your life. How does your financial situation affect that situation? Can money make things more stressful? Okay, didn't really say it right, but can money, I guess, well, yeah, money problems, that's the only thing I can think of, right, the word to use right now. But, money, having not enough money because we don't have savings, that could really put a kink in things. So how about in your life when things were going well, have you felt like you've been in control of your finances? So just some things to think about. All right, but again, having having that plan, you're gonna, bottom line, you're gonna have peace of mind. That's the bottom line that we'd like to say. So 1 minute, and this is not a 1 minute timed quiz, but I do want to ask, and you can share if you like, is, think about what are some areas in your financial life that need improvement, and don't feel like you have to answer that. But I encourage you, I know you're all making notes, I encourage you to make a note. What are some things in your financial life that need improvement? So write those down and think about those as we go through, because at the end, I'll ask you to follow up and think about, okay, with your budget, with your plan, what are some things that you're going to look for? So here's some questions to, ask yourself. Did you, in these times, have you spent more than you made? Or have you lived beyond your means? That's sometimes easy to do, right? How many of you pay yourself first when you get paid, for example? And you can raise your hand if you want. Yeah, I don't see many hands. So sometimes folks are charging instead of saving up. When we think about an emergency savings plan, do you know that 6 out of 10 people do not have an emergency savings fund or an emergency fund? And if they don't have an emergency fund, then what do they depend on? If they don't have money in savings, what are they using as an emergency fund? Verbal is good.
Probably your credit cards.
You bet, that credit card, because it's easy to swipe that card. So, but anyway, again, just some questions to self-reflect, and we'll be talking about. I'll say it more than once. Is that paying yourself first? What does that really mean? Paying yourself first.
My thought is, who has the money to pay yourself first nowadays, really? And what do you?
Oh, who? So it's hard to put money back in savings.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So and you're right. I always like to say everybody lives paycheck to paycheck, even if they're putting money in savings. So the thought is to encourage you, all of us, to pay yourself first. And if that's, you know, it doesn't have to be a large amount, but just dedicating that, you know, dedicating that money will really help.
And when you say
But
pay
you're right, it is.
first, when you say pay yourself
Pardon?
first, you're not talking about savings. You're talking about expendable money, and then
Well, that's a good point. So it is actually, when you say pay yourself first, that is putting money in savings first, and then what you have left over. Okay, that sounded like we have tons left over. But the point is treating yourself, your savings, as you would any other bill. And
Like
even if,
so like put a set amount aside, like $20 a pay period, or
sure, yes, and that's
$40 a pay period.
yes, whatever it is, and that's a great segue into goals. So thank you for that, Susan. And it could be, you know, starting out, you know, it could be $5. It can be whatever you can, I was going to say whatever you can afford or whatever you can allocate. So thanks for teeing up this next slide. And so when we think about goals, getting in control of your finances, it's important to set goals. And I know that you guys have seen this before because we've talked about it before, and hopefully you've seen it in other places, but it's important to set SMART goals. And I love this acronym because it really talks about that goal needs to be specific, measurable, always adjustable, and make it realistic and time-oriented. So for example, if I say, you know, I want to have $5,000 saved in the next month, well, that's just not going to happen. That's not realistic. So I'm going to read you an example. So if your goal is, okay, I need to pay off my credit card debt, you're likely to reach that goal if you use this formula, so to speak. And so, for example, I'm going to pay off my credit card debt of $1,200 within the next 12 months by taking my lunch to work and not going out to eat and drinking regular coffee rather than those expensive lattes. So that's a specific. So you can so you have $1,200 in 1 year. So how much would you save a month? If you're going to pay it off in a year,
100.
100.
Okay.
That's easy. And I'm in the interest of technology, I'm going to do this verbally. So yeah, so it'd be 100 a month. That boils down to $23 a week, and actually $3.29 a day. So when you break it down like that, would you agree that makes it sound easier?
Yeah,
It does to me. Also, we had another comment, thanks Cherie for this, is when we talk about paying yourself first, if, as I don't know if you guys have a 401k at CIL or retirement, okay? So there you go. If you're investing in your 401k, that's coming out of your paycheck right away, then you're saving automatically. Thanks for that, Cherie. So does that give you a good example of that SMART goal? Make sense? Thumbs up? Okay. Yeah, verbal's good, or I'm watching you guys on camera too. Okay, so 3 types of goals that you have. This is your time frame, so to speak. So short term, that could be your goal, say within 6 months. And people are going to have intermediate and longer term goals too. So what are some, an example of a short term goal might be to build up that emergency fund. What are some other goals that are financial goals that you would have? And it doesn't matter if it would be short, intermediate, or long term. What are some financial goals that people may have? It doesn't have to be you specific, but what are some other goals?
maybe a vacation fund.
There you go, vacation, love it. And that could be, and just depending, that could be short term or intermediate. If it's a big vacation, maybe it's more of an intermediate goal. Thank you, Danny. What are some other examples?
Home improvement.
Right on, Sheree.
Okay, was that a jump ball?
Yes.
Yeah, so home improvement, and again, that could be short term or intermediate, just depending on what you're looking for. So we have vacation, home improvement. Let's have a couple more.
About college fund for the kids.
College fund, you bet.
Car.
And a car, love it. So that could be down payment, or if someone wants to pay cash for the car. So you're right. So those are excellent goals that, depending on the person, could be short, intermediate, or long term. Longer term might be that retirement or the college, depending on how old the child is. So good deal. Anything to add so far? All right. Thanks for that. So, when you think about these different terms, you have budgeting for the short-term goals, saving, and investing. Our purpose today is really to focus on the budgeting part, because when you have a budget, when you have a plan, that's going to help you to save and to invest for the longer term. All right, so when we think about a spending plan or a budget, it's very simple. Your income, what's coming in, and what is going out. How many of you have, and this you don't have to share, but actually written down your spending plan, your money coming in and your bills going out? I see a couple of you, and I'll tell you what I do, and it's not ideal. I would do better if I had a sheet, but I write on my calendar. But by writing on my calendar, I don't necessarily get all the bills there. So it's important to make a comprehensive, a good list of where your money is going. All right, so with the spending plan, it's going to help you stay on track, live within your means, because you're going to know where your money is going. And would you agree it's going to help you make informed choices? When you see, where that money has maybe been going, and we'll talk about that. What are those financial leaks? So basically, it's a roadmap for you. And having that map, you're in control of your budget. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. I always get concerned with these meetings after lunch. You know why? I get concerned about PLC, post-lunch coma. So, oh gosh. Okay, good. I know you're still with me. Okay, so we're going to dig deeper into these different steps of successful spending. I already talked about you're going to want to list that monthly income, where it's coming from and the expenses, where your money goes. So let's dig deeper. Let's get into step one. So this is where you're going to list your monthly income, and with you or your clients, certainly they could be, it's likely not going to be all of these, but you'll want to take a look at, and I'm glad I brought up your clients, because I know that when you're working with them, that you can use these tools and conversations to help them. But, taking a look, is it Social Security? Is it the paycheck? Is there rental income involved? Gifts. I'm here if anybody wants to send money my way. Interest, if you do have a savings account or something, but the interest, those kind of things, you probably want to keep investing for. But for most of us, it's going to be that paycheck, or child support or alimony, something like that. So that's pretty easy. Where's the money coming from? When you have, and let me ask you this too, there are a lot of tools out there, different apps that you can use to budget. Does anyone on the call, that's on the call right now, do you guys use any app, like on your phone or computer or laptop or iPad or tablet or something? Do any of y'all use a budgeting app?
We just log into our bank and do things that way, I guess. But she-
Okay.
She's got everything laid out on a spreadsheet, so I know what we're spending. We don't always follow it, but we know what we know where it's going.
Excellent. So you have, excellent. So good. You're doing this already, Danny.
Well, not
Thank
really.
you for that. Thank you for that. And you're right, with your credit union or your bank, it's a great way to keep up, and you can see where your money is going. So we know what's coming in. Now what is going out? So what are some examples of fixed expenses, those expenses that you know what they are each month?
Your rent, your
Okay.
utilities, an average of your utilities, I would say.
Whoops. Yes. And there's some,
Your groceries.
I don't know how I got, yeah, your grocery. Now that could be a flexible, right? So, and I
Could
want
be.
to, Samantha, thank you. You said that you use Albert. I'm not familiar with Albert. I'll have to make a note and check that out for the app. Albert app. So yeah, so your fixed expenses, that's what you know what they are. Flexible could be your utilities, gifts, food. Food can go up or down. A lot of people during COVID-19, they're telling me that their food expenses have gone up. I don't know if that applies to anyone online here.
Yes.
And then what are some periodic examples? Maybe not something that you're paying every month.
Well, this is not, I mean, it's something that we're paying for right now, but it's not something that's a long term, but we're actually paying for formula right now, baby formula, which if you haven't priced that lately, it's very expensive.
Well, so congratulations are in order.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well, fantastic. How old is your baby?
She is 5 months old.
Aw, what's her name?
Grace.
Bree?
Grace.
Grace.
Right.
Okay, Grace. Oh, love it. Well, congratulations. And no, I personally have not priced formula, but anyway, thanks for the tip. But you're right. That's something that's not going to, well, I was going to say it's not going to last. Your food's going to change. You'll just get off formula and use something else. But how about insurance or taxes? Some people pay their car insurance or life insurance quarterly. Certainly taxes, you may not have regularly. So those are some examples. I'm trying to get rid of my arrows there. Well, it just doesn't want to. Oh, well. We're just going to have to deal with those arrows. There we go. They were distracting to me, so, okay. All right, so expense categories, this kind of tags on to those fixed and flexible. What are some of the, you talked about some necessary expenses. Like you said, your shelter, discretionary. What are some discretionary expenses? Formula would not be one of those. But what's some discretionary expenses that you have?
Maybe eating out or actually, eating in now that we're going through COVID. So.
Yep, there you go. So food, entertaining. You did. I don't know if any of you guys did like food delivery or things like that. What about Netflix?
Yeah.
Or one of those? And I'm not a game person, so I don't know, how that would be. But some of those discretionary expenses, you don't have to have them. It depends on who you talk to on Netflix. Is it a need or a want? I know in previous conversations that's what we've talked about, and really that's what this is here. Is it a need or is it a want? So, all right, personal expenses. And guys, this is your budget. You don't have to account for every single penny, but when you do, you can certainly save. And then you have miscellaneous expenses. That could be those things that pop up that we do not like car repair or medical expenses,
Or
things like
AC
that.
repair.
Or AC repair, which is very important, especially days like today.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the, yeah. All that is in that emergency, for the emergency savings. Would you agree?
Yes.
I'm looking for, so I know Samantha's here. I just saw, there she is. Oh, and Tavara, hi. Am I saying that right,
Yes.
Tavara? Okay,
Yes.
good, thank you. And Lexi, okay, I see now. I was asking Karen earlier, please be kind with the, and I know y'all will, this Zoom, we're all getting used to it. But anyway, so those are your, bottom line is keep track of your expenses and try to have that emergency plan. Okay, methods to track your spending. You guys have already said, so Samantha says she uses Albert. Danny said using the online banking, which is great. You can transfer money, here at Central, and I'm sure most of them work about the same. You can transfer money from checking to savings. You can have, actually, when since we're talking about savings, you can have more than one savings account. You have your main savings account, and then you can have several others. You can have one allocated to some of those goals that you talked about, one for vacation, one for education. That's why you said education earlier, Danny. You were thinking about Grace. You were thinking ahead. You know, so you have the apps. Some people like, as far as the checking account, like to just keep a good old-fashioned check register. A lot of folks may not write checks, but using the debit card, it's a great way to keep up, is using that register. And then how about who saves receipts? Is there anyone on the line that does a good job of saving receipts? There being none? Okay. I tried to, but I'll go in. What's that?
I end up with almost like barrels of them. There's too many.
Oh, there are too many. Yeah, there are too many. So, their receipts. Well, what some people do is, I hadn't thought about this in forever, but I used to, I don't even know who it was, but I had a friend that they just had a grocery sack, and they just threw all the receipts in for the whole year. And anyway, that's kind of crazy. But anyway, saving receipts, keeping them in different envelopes so that you can go back and know, okay, how much did I spend for groceries? Or, how much did I spend for, clothing or, shoes, what have you. So, and then envelopes. Some people, now I don't, we don't recommend that people use cash only because it's, not safe, it's at risk of, being stolen or lost. But some people like to use the envelopes and put their money in the different envelopes to allocate for food or formula or what have you. So just some tips. What works best for you guys? Verbal is good, or you can chat. I know Sam said Albert.
This is Cherie. I actually use QuickBooks, and I scan my receipts in. And I also, in my checking register, put memos and for things that are really important for tax purposes, because I work from home. I have to have a pretty good record of spending.
Great. Thank you for that. Excellent. And I don't know, I know what QuickBooks is, but I've never used it, and I didn't know about scanning receipts. So that's excellent way, because that way you do know where your money is going. And yeah.
And if you use the memos in your checking account, there's like a little thing on the side that tells me how I'm spending too.
Good point. Good point. I know on our home banking, you can go in and you can make notes on what it was for. And you can also, on a lot of times on credit card or in the online app or online banking, it'll say how much went to food, how much went to restaurants. That one's really depressing depending on what time of year. Did you have something, Danny?
Well, we have used the banking app, so we have the sub accounts, so you can go in and name the account whatever you want to name it. You have your primary checking or whatever that and then your savings, and then if you know that you're going to need X amount of dollars for car insurance, you can put that money aside every month that goes in there, so that when you need it, it's there. The only downside is when you know there's money in a certain account and you take it out and then you don't put it back, and you gotta play around with it a little bit to see, make sure it all comes out. But it's actually a good tool.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. That's yeah, and you're right. It's tempting. I know on our online banking, you can hide some of the accounts so that you don't see it. But yeah, having those different buckets, I like calling it, is terrific. Okay, so we've talked about how to manage. Then you want to determine where your money goes, and we kind of jumped into this already, but this is identifying where those spending leaks. So where's your money going if you're not keeping track? So and I'm just going to throw this out because we have a great group. Where anyone want to share where your money is going? Is that a bad question to ask? I mean, what's that? Lunches?
Lunches.
Yeah.
That's not for Danny though, because Danny don't eat lunch.
Well, ordering in, I mean, ever since we've always done a lot of fast food, but ever since COVID, we've done a lot of ordering in, and it ain't like it used to be where you have pizza and Chinese food. Now you got everybody delivering everything, so you got a lot more choices. So it makes it a lot easier to say, hey, let's do this. So that's a big one. And Amazon is the devil because they come to our house all the time and bring stuff. So.
I forget what they call it, but Amazon, it is crazy. And I know we're not supposed to use our phone when you're trying to go to sleep, but I don't know what they called it. But anyway, it's awfully easy to, like at night, to be scrolling through Amazon and just hit that one click, right? So. And how about this with ordering?
Never save your credit card in Amazon. That will save you.
Well, it will save you. Plus, it reduces the risk of fraud too.
I was going to say, for me, it's birthdays, anniversaries. I have a large family of siblings and grandchildren, and I can't even blink, and I've got a birthday and anniversary, and we're just a real giving family, so that's a real big spending for me. And I also I like to give back, so I have a charity or two that I might give to every once in a while.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
And fur babies. They cost me a lot.
Oh, how many? And you tell me how many you have? 2?
I have 2 huskies, and that's a big. Veterinarians, vet visits are expensive.
So that's one of those line items that you have to depend on. That's a need. That's not a luxury for you. That's a need. That's like the formula for. I about said the formula for Danny. The formula for Grace. Going back to the thinking about ordering out food. Have you felt? Because I know I have, because of. I know that everyone's hours are cut back. I find myself, because I'm a good tipper anyway, but I find myself tipping a little bit more. I don't know if that's just me. I don't know, but anyway. But keeping a tab on where your money goes. All right, communicate however you track. If you're in a family situation and you have a couple of sources of income and family spending, it's important to communicate. If you're, if you live alone, then, you can always talk to yourself. But anyway, point is, if your finances are commingled with someone else, you know, make sure that you're having those conversations so that you can achieve those financial goals. And I had one other thought. Oh, children. Something that we see a lot is, just like we're doing here, a lot of the nonprofits that we work with that work with kids, for example, Curry House, part of Lutheran Services, they like for us to come in and have these financial discussions with the kids because they're not learning in school. And I think y'all have told me this too, that they're not learning how about finances. They're not learning about saving. So if you're around children, I encourage you to, you know, teach them how to save and teach them financial literacy, because it is something that is lacking these days. Anything to add? All right, we'll keep going. Not very hard to figure out. We've been talking is, you know, you want to have that balance of your income and expenses, making sure that that you're not spending more than is coming in. So how does your cash flow? How can you reduce expenses? What ideas do you have? I know we talked about going out to eat. That could be one, reducing those meals.
Yeah.
Any other ideas? I have one to share. So I have Geico for my car insurance, and I found, and this actually is not going to apply to anyone on the line but me. But anyway, if you're over a certain age, if we take a safety course online, it's granted a 6-hour course. I told my husband, he's like, well, you can take it. I'm not. But it's going to save us, I think it's, I don't know, $12.50 for our policy period. And then that may not be much, but hey, you know, it works. And then recently the cell phone, a lot of these bills, if you set it up on auto pay, then you can save money there. So I know recently I'm saving $10 at Verizon by setting up on auto pay. So those are just some examples that you can use to cut back. Did I hear another idea?
I said, wow, I have Verizon. I didn't know we could do that.
Well, you know what? I didn't either. And someone just joined us. Who just joined? It's on mute. Hi, who just joined?
I apologize, it's Cherie. I had a power flux and I had to call back in.
Oh, okay. I'm like, wow, you know, we're just so popular this afternoon. People are just joining all over. So, but yeah, back to Verizon. I just happened to see that when I went into the app to pay the bill. So, so anyway, you know, look for those ways to reduce expenses. And then how can you increase your income? That's another one that, you know, I don't know. Some people have a little side gig going these days, a lot of different ways. Okay, so when you make your spending plan, and I'm going to I want to show you this cash flow. Okay, bear with me. Can you see this cash flow chart? It says income and expenses. You should.
Yes.
Anybody? Do you see it?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. So this is something that that I emailed you guys, and I don't know if it's been forwarded, but it will. But it's just a basic cash flow statement, and it's easy to put. Over on the left, as you can see, is the income. You know how much money is coming in, and then you have the expenses over on the right-hand side. Obviously, you may not have something in every field. You can adjust it. You have your miscellaneous and other, but this is where you're going to get a good look at where's that money coming in and where is it going out. And I'm going to go back to what Cherie said about gifts. Those are some things that just come, that you don't plan on, that it may be hard to keep up with. Or donations. I had this one happen last week that a friend of mine, for his birthday, he was getting he was raising money for a charity. And so that was just something real quick. Didn't plan on it, but just popped in $10 there. Pardon me. Do you think something like this would be helpful for you guys if you've not done it before? Or for some of your clients?
I was going to ask, you said you had done these kind of things for children. Do you have one specifically geared towards children? One of these?
We don't. No, we don't have a set. Pardon me for one moment. Sorry about that. I had a tickle. We don't have one specific, like a session like this for kids.
No, I was talking about the form.
This form.
Oh, the form. No, but I email. No, but I can see if I can find one. This is when we work with the kids. This is actually what we give them, something like this, because we want them to know things to think about. Kids just think everything's free, but to get them to think about utilities and things like that. Do you think that would work?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay, good.
You're going to send this to us?
Yes. Yes, you'll get it. I'll make sure I'll get it to Karen, and Karen, can you distribute it to everybody? I know that she will. So, okay, any other thoughts or comments?
Barbara, I can't get it out to them. Actually, I think I already have it. So.
Okay. Well, I'll get them to you again so you can forward. You can forward. Okay. By a show of hands or just a thumbs up, or you can use the chat or annotation. If we stopped right now, we're not going to, but if we did, how many of you are going to walk away with at least one new thought or idea for your personal budgeting? All right. Thanks for that. Good answer. Just kidding. Okay, this just shows us an example of what I showed you. This person, they have a total income, they have their salary, they took money out of savings, they got gifts, and total income of $40,047, and the expenses for the year on the right evened out. That's our goal. That's what you want to strive for. And as you can see here in this example, they still saved $1,200. Every person's different.
I don't see what you're talking about.
Oh, because you know what? I didn't share. Thank you. I didn't share back. Thank you for saying that.
Okay.
You should see, where did our money go last year?
Got it.
Okay, good. All right. So this is your goal, is to have them even out, and you can do that by keeping good records. Okay, so you're working on your plan. Does it fit within your goals? We've talked about tracking expenses. What are some other, we talked about some examples of, if you find that you're spending more money than you're making, what are some adjustments, what are some other adjustments that you can do to save money or reduce your spending? I have some ideas here. So one would be, I don't know, do we have any, if we have any readers in the group or people who order audio books or something, borrowing books from the library, that could be, raise insurance deductibles, borrow videos, hold a garage sale. So those are just some other things to, raise, get additional income or reduce some expenses. Okay, pitfalls to the plan. All right, what are some things that can throw a wrench into your spending plan?
A hurricane.
Well, the
Unexpected
pitfall
medical.
reminds me of a car wreck.
Okay. So yes, so actually it actually does. So hurricanes coming, could be an accident. Danny, did you say something?
I was thinking medical expenses, you know,
You bet.
good medical expenses or something like that.
You bet. And then of course, what are we in the middle of? Pandemic, of course.
Pandemic.
So that can, that can certainly throw a wrench, especially if someone has reduction in income or reduction in hours or job loss. So when you think about those, would you agree that's all the more reason to have that emergency plan? Because not everyone has those credit cards. And, we don't want to encourage debt, but Danny said earlier, you know what, if we don't have an emergency savings plan, then they're going to fall back on a credit. But auto accidents, medical emergencies, those are some of the large ERLITs. And sorry, Sheree, but I have to bring back your fur babies. If not just we get sick, but if our pets get sick, I've heard that I do know that there's insurance for pets, and it can be quite costly. Gosh, who was I talking to? Oh yeah, she just had like $500 in bills for flea treatments or something for her pets. I was like, oh man. So anyway, so those are some things that can come up. Here's some other examples, and you guys have talked about it. So examples that drain your budget: ignored repairs. So if things, that makes me think of if you don't repair something, and Susan, you've brought up the air condition bill, right? Quick car acceleration. Okay, I don't get that one. Oh, maybe on gas, because I think that would save, that takes up more gas. Late fees, keeping the lights on, and I don't care what happens. I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna have air conditioning. Our bill doubled, but I don't care. So we can do something. We'll we won't go out to eat as much. Okay, so just other money saving tips, like we've talked about, using credit wisely. Try not to, sometimes you can't avoid, those credit card bills, but use that wisely. Pay down debt, and that could be one of those short-term or midterm goals, right? Intermediate goals is get that debt paid down, and when you do, that's going to save you on interest. I know a lot of the loans that we do here at the credit union are consolidation loans, because people will come in, and I've seen members and people come in with over 20% on their credit cards. So a great way to, I'll just throw in a shameless plug for Central, is let's look at consolidating that to a more affordable rate if you have to do it. Refinance, that could be refinance a car or a home. Bundling your insurance, that could be just like bundling your cell phone. And then shop around, do some comparison, which is really easy to do these days because of the internet, right? Anything to add? Any other money saving tips that you guys can share with each other? I just thought of one to share if you're not doing it is, and I don't know how I'm getting the money or the rewards, but it's called fuel rewards. I get money if I can't go to, what is the name? Walmart out on 9 Mile Road. I can't think of, there's another name. There's Walmart and something else. But anyway, I go to Shell and I use fuel rewards. And I think going to Winn-Dixie gives you fuel reward points. So by doing that, I get 3 to 5 cents off per gallon. So, hey, every penny counts, right?
BJ's.
Does anyone else use that?
BJ's.
What's that?
Thing. BJ's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. You know what? I've not been there yet. Do you like it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay. I hear that it's smaller than Sam's.
It
that
is.
It's maybe, okay. Yeah, I need to, I don't know how many dozens of times that I had the opportunity to buy the membership for $35, I remember, and I never did. So, but you're right. You know what? My daughter has 5 kids, and she was telling me with discounts and coupons and stuff that just how much money she saved. So anyway, so it sounds like a good deal. So look for those, and that's another money saving is to buy in bulk. And if you don't, like, it's just my husband and myself, so we don't have a lot of needs just for 2 of us, but we can go in halves with someone else. So there's another idea. I just encourage you to keep those money saving tips. Okay,
You,
of course.
you said something really important, Barbara.
What's
You
that?
said something really
What's that?
important when you said coupons. I have a friend that coupons all the time, and she has a whole garage full of stuff that she buys for free. She several times has gotten money back when she goes in to buy groceries because she coupons everything.
Oh, wow.
So coupons save money.
I extreme coupon as well, and I've also had the same experience where gone into Publix and they've had to give me money back.
Really?
So I haven't done it as much recently with work and stuff, but because it does take quite a bit of time to get everything organized. But I still do some couponing, so.
Nice. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out who that is talking.
It's Samantha, sorry.
Oh, hey, Samantha. Oh, no wonder I couldn't see your, okay. I was like looking, okay, whose mouth is moving? Well, I could, you have your cute little emoji. So yeah, I've never had money back. So maybe we need to have a side meeting on how to do that. Okay, making savings a habit. And again, that goes back to, saving the coin. You can also at Central, and I know other places do too, if you use your debit card, it'll round up. So for example, you spend, $6.50 at McDonald's, it's going to round up to $7. Pay McDonald's $6.50, and then that 50 cents can drop into whichever savings account that you like. That's another great way to save. That's kind of out of sight, out of mind. So, yeah, Samantha, you and I need to meet. Our next session will be on couponing. So, all right, there you go. The use the rebates and coupons, adjust the thermostats. Okay, we know that. Drive sensibly. That ties back to that about the accelerating. So that's saving gas. And then don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry. I see, Susan, you with me? Y'all are all with me. And then
I'm not allowed to go by myself.
Oh, is that right?
Yes,
oh God,
Danny will get chocolate candy, and he'll get chocolate brownies, and he'll get.
I'm just saying, there's a separate list. I'm not sure. But.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's something, and I don't know. Well, this was a different thing, but. I don't know that we'll ever have free samples again, but remember the days not too many months ago that, that the stores would have the free samples, so you could basically have lunch, just saying. Just saying. Or bring your lunch. And, I know those of us around here are trying to be better about bringing our lunches until someone says, oh, let's go get sushi today or whatever. And that's where it's hard to control unless you don't like sushi. So anyway, All right. So the step down principle, I thought this was kind of cool. So one way to save money is using the step down principle. And if you follow this, you'll reduce the spending in gradual stages. And so example, if you want to purchase clothing, think of the top as the, as that high end, that high end store. Maybe it's a department store or something. But then you think about, okay, where you're buying your goods, whether it's clothes or whatever it is. Do you have to go to that most expensive store? What's the next step down? Is it a discount store? Is it like a BJ's or Sam's, that, the club stores? So look at some of those, it says least expensive. I like the word affordable, but look for those more affordable, options. Is it a discount store or, factory outlet that you can get the same thing, or maybe it's Amazon. You guys brought that earlier. So being aware of where you can get the items, and that might be something really when you're talking with your clients to encourage them, find out, where do they go, and maybe give them some ideas. So, and I will tell you, I like Dollar General because you can get name brand at a discount price, just for example. And then another example of this step down is the frequency or the amount that you purchase. And that's, I like this. So you may step down by eliminating an appetizer, a drink, or dessert when you eat out. So, instead of getting the tea or the Coke, just stick with water. So, there's just a lot of little things that we can do, and I'm sure you're all doing them. But share with us, what are some of your tips that you have? I keep asking you guys for examples, but what are some other ways that you guys have saved money? Any other ideas besides your couponing? And
I have an idea. Well,
okay.
When we go on vacation, we take our ice chest and we pack sandwich stuff and breakfast stuff. And instead of stopping at McDonald's or a restaurant, sit down restaurant, we'll stop at the wayside store, at the not the wayside store, the
Rest stop?
Rest stop. Thank you.
Rest stop. All right.
The rest stop, and we'll get the picnic table and put a plastic sheet on it, and then have our lunch. And it's a lot more fun because we have family time together, and it saves a whole lot of money.
Excellent idea. And you're exactly right, because you can save that money to go to a nice meal if wherever you get where you're going. So, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. Would you agree with COVID-19? And we've seen that with families or even friends, going to the park, the social distancing and things like that. So thanks for sharing, Susan. All right. And we're doing good on time. No one has hung up yet. So here's some other resources for you that you can, useful sites that you can look for more information on saving money, and I can send these to Karen. All right, so these are the things we've been talking about. So managing your system, what are you going to do? You're going to regularly track those expenses. You're certainly paying your bills. Oh, bill pay. We didn't talk about bill pay. Who on the line uses bill pay with your credit union? Did you hear me say credit union? Yeah, your credit union or bank. But yeah, bill pay, that's another great way. You can set that up to pay your bills right automatically, and you can also keep control and just pay it as you go. Balance your checkbook. Why is it important to balance your checkbook? Even if you're not writing checks, you're using debit card.
So that you don't get fees attached when you go over.
there you go, because you want to be sure that you have enough money in there. Also, you want to check and to be sure that the amount that came out is the correct amount. And that goes for your credit card too, because accidents, things happen, and you want to be sure that you're charged appropriately. Review your goals after, a major life change, or just, every few months, review those goals, or a major life change. That could be a job change. It could be, or a job change, with your spouse or partner, or it could be having a baby. So, retiring, things, absolutely, things absolutely change. And then thinking about, does the spending plan fit within your goals? So keep those financial goals front and center at all times. So after everything we've talked about, what would you add? What are some things? I know I asked earlier how many of you are going to walk away with at least one new thought, one new idea. Who would like to share something that they're going to put in their financial planning after our discussion today? Susan has one.
I'll say the Geico insurance thing, the 6-hour course, I didn't know about that. And I didn't know about the Verizon thing. So those two things will be added to our plans.
Okay, nice. Now the Geico thing, I don't know that you would
We have
qualify,
Geico
because I think
insurance.
but I mean, I think it's for people who are over 50. So I don't think
I'm a
you
lot
would.
older than you think I am.
Okay, well then we're together, sister. Good, well thanks. I'm glad that was helpful. Who else?
Geico is my thing, and I'm probably older than both of you. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, I should get something from Geico to. I should get something for sharing that with you guys.
Yes, that's a good one. I had no idea. I've been a lot of years. Yeah. That's a good.
How about the rest of you? Tavara, Sam, Lexi, Cherie, Carolyn. More couponing, maybe?
This is Carolyn, I'm just trying to be more attuned to all the different expenses that are occurring, because it seems like there's been extras with COVID and different things in different ways. And so the money that might have been being saved isn't being saved the same way. But at the same time, like I was commenting this morning on the transportation that right now we are not paying the $3.50 per ride. Well, $3.50 every day per ride should be going in a jar somewhere. It isn't. It needs to.
What do you mean you're not paying? Oh, what happened with my? There we go. What do you mean with the $3.50?
For folks with disabilities to take the paratransit, it's $3.50 per ride. And right now, because of COVID, they don't want people touching the same sources of things. So the county has approved a no payment system. And so, but that's $7 on an average day and it's not going in the jar. It needs to go in a jar.
Oh, gotcha.
To make sure that money is harnessed, because it's certainly not harnessed right now. So it needs to be harnessed.
Okay, well I just learned something. So that's a great thing to know. So we, again, we talked about those SMART goals, track the spending, and I just want to challenge you to, I go back to my friend, it's the SMART goal, but also ridiculously small, no-fail goals. And I always look to the bottle of water, because she always got me, she was a personal coach and a fitness coach too. And she said, just start, just say, okay, I'm going to drink 1 bottle of water or 8 ounces of water. Same thing, same thing with the money. If it's, I'm going to put $5 a month, then that's fine. And I know working with a lot of folks that are on that limited income, they don't have a job and they're getting their assistance check, they can still save. Just, you know what, it might just be a smaller amount, but it's just building that habit. So just, you know, want to encourage you to do that. And then, of course, Central Credit Union, you know, we're always here to help. If you guys have any questions, our savings account, it's only $5 to be a member. Our checking account is free. We have all the bells and whistles of home banking, our mobile app, so like all types of loans, so a lot of different ways to help you. And then also wanted to bring up, on our website, you don't have to be a member to go to our website, we have financial calculators. And those they're savings calculators, they're certainly loan calculators. So I'll be sure and send that link to you, Karen, that you can share with everybody, because that's a cool tool that I don't talk about often, but it is a free tool out there that we have that's really easy to use. Whoops.
It looks like we're almost at the end. We are.
It looks like we are. I was looking, I was looking at the very last slide that we added, and I don't see it. I'm so sorry. I know why, because I pulled the wrong PowerPoint. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that.
You know,
Karen.
Barbara, I wanted to add, though, that there are several people in the office that have really great gardens. And also several of us are avid, we fish a lot. And there is even someone in the office that has chickens, and they get their own eggs. And I find that to be really cost effective. My mom has a beautiful garden too, so I'm stealing tomatoes from her often.
Well, that's great. And if you have any extras, let me know, and I can just run over.
I'll tell you who's got one of the best gardens is Susan. Speak up, Susan, about your beautiful garden.
We do have a beautiful garden. We do. My husband works on it every day, and we've got tomatoes coming out our ears. So.
Oh my goodness! Well, that's
and we
a
have
great.
We have 37 chickens. Not all 37 are grown yet, but we do have 37.
Oh my gosh, 37 chickens.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
And he
goodness,
which is crazy.
Well, anything else to add? And there you go, Karen.
Any other questions? I guess not.
All right. Well, I want to thank you. Go ahead, Karen.
Well, I want to thank you. And I want to thank everybody else for joining in with us today. And Barbara, we do owe you a very big thank you, and also the credit union itself for partnering with CIL Disability Resource Center and providing a great presentation you did today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Y'all just I just get chill bumps, and you know what? We'll just move forward, and anything we can do, you know, we're here for you, and we'll be glad to do this. I will certainly get the link back out to you too. And I know somebody was sending me a message. So,
here.
All right. Well, very good. Well, thank you. You guys have a great afternoon. Congratulations again, Danny, Susan. Extra groceries, you know, I can just pop over and pick them up. Just kidding.
Sure.
Oh, and by the way, that Geico, that class is 6 hours, and I still haven't finished it, but I will, and it will be worth it. Y'all have a good afternoon. Thank you. What's that?
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You don't have to sit down.
You're welcome.
And do it.
Do what?
You don't have to sit down at one time.
No, Lord, no. You can come and go. So.
Wow, that's fantastic. Okay.
All right. Well, y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
You too.
Take care, everybody.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.